If you're here, that means you've reached day 3 of my series documenting my hustle, and I'm so glad to have you here. Claps, 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 claps. Yes, yes, yes. Or if you haven't been following along the series, hi, my name is Princess, and this is a series where I document experiences from the businesses I entered into from way back in 2022 and 2023. So, in this particular video, we're going to be focusing on mini importation. That's right, mini importation. Now, just a little refresher for those of you that didn't watch day 1 of the series. Mini importation is basically importing things and bringing things, buying and selling type method from a different country into your own country. And the name mini is put in front of it because you are doing it in small quantities. And in case you didn't know, there are a lot of things, a lot of things they don't tell you before you go into mini importation in the first place. And everyone is like,
Oh, it's so easy. Oh, it's this, it's that, it's wonderful. It's this, it's that, it's blah, blah, blah.
it's not as wonderful as they put it out to be. Yes, it's really good because you're buying in lesser amounts and you can buy in one quantity, in two. You're not really restricted by minimum order quantities, which are MOQs and all that. But, but, business has its good and its bad side. But, yeah, here are the things I wish I knew. Number one, do more research even after you learn, which is probably what you're doing right now for some of you. For those of you that aren't even thinking about getting into mini importation, or you're probably here because you want to get into mini importation, because why else would you be watching this video? You want to get into mini importation and you're curious about how it works. Well, let's say you go to a mini importation coach or a mini importation expert like me. Here are the things that me as an expert would tell somebody that is just getting into it the first time. For some of my students, I tell them, even after I teach you, even after you're done with the class, if you have any more questions, if you have any more inquiries, please do ask, because there are some things that would not be included in the class that a lot of experts and a lot of mini importation plugs or, individuals that go into them, basically there are a lot of things that they have experienced that they'll probably not tell you at first hand, just to not discourage you. So I would advise you, go on YouTube, watch this video like you're watching right now. I remember, I'm just going off my experience and what I learned from my importation coach, and what I wish she told me more in detail, especially for the shipping method, which I will go over that. But it's so important because it really didn't normal me. I'm never going to lie to you. Things like supplier research, things like authenticity research. There are so many things that I wish I had discovered rather than discovering during a job, like trying to import something for somebody. Because doing mini importation is not every time you're trying to import for yourself, but it's very embarrassing when you're having to discover a lot of things while you are trying to import for somebody. So nothing else, before you pay for any item, and I mean any item at all, except if its items are do not need extra inquiry for, like let's say you want to buy toothbrush, for instance, or you want to buy let's say pots, or things that are very self-explanatory, hangers, plastic, whatever. You see the site, most of the times they put the size, they put the measurement, they put the specification, so you just go through that and say, okay, this is what I'm getting, this is what I would want, you understand. But for things that need extra inquiries, like clothes, shoes, things that have some differences between your country and another country. Let's take clothes for instance, the differences in size. Let's say from a lot of Nigerians, you'll be doing mini importation from China into Nigeria, and because of that, there's this thing called Asian size. Yeah, it's not the same as Nigerian size. And Nigerian size, we do use is it the US, I think it's a US type measurement, or if it's the UK, I can't really remember, but it's one of them and it's not the same. Basically, you need to make extra inquiries. I mean, you're putting your money down. No one is going to be angry with you if you say, oh, can I see a clearer picture of this so I can know the material of the clothes, or can I see a better, it's like asking, you can't necessarily ask for sample. I haven't seen, except you're like buying in big quantities and maybe you want to start production with them, you can't necessarily ask for sample because you're already importing what they already have in stock. You get me? So because you're doing that, for majority of you that are doing that method, because you're doing that, you have to ask for what's the material, what's this, what's that. Always ask questions, and then do let them know that I'm going to pay. It's not as if I'm asking questions just because I'm not going to pay, because they're not patient. Chinese people are not patient when it comes to their business. They want to, like, what do you want? I can provide that. Let's get working. You understand? You need to be somebody that your mind, you're not like coming to my ask question and then come back 1 week later and say, okay, I'm ready. Like, no. This one is going back to the shipping one. It's use air shipping for small sized items. You don't want to be using air shipping for things that will cost you an arm and a leg to ship. Like, don't do that to yourself. Instead, if you want to ship things like shoes, you want to ship things like big size of bags and all those things, use sea shipping. If you want to ship bill, like clothes in bill quantity, you want to ship iron heavy things, just use sea shipping to save you a lot more stress. Honestly. But if you want to ship things like, in small batches clothes, maybe they are high quality clothes and you are not trying to wait that long to see them, you can use air shipping. If you want to ship a sample of something small, to use air shipping. Little bits of jewelry, little bits of skincare, use air shipping so they can get them faster. You understand? But that's if you have budgeted for air shipping. And also, you might want to ask a currency exchange person what's the current rate. You understand? So that you can budget just a little bit above that, so it doesn't sting you when it's time to pay. Or you not have to start saying, please borrow me, please, I can, no, just don't do that. Next one is do not, I beg you in the name of Jesus. I'm not going to ask you whatever you believe in, because that's what me I believe in. I beg you, do not pay suppliers in their DMs. Just don't do it. It's not worth it. I don't care what you're trying to buy. Don't do it. Don't, if they don't have a way for you to pay through the app that people found each other on. Bye. I don't care if you have been looking for this thing for ages and this is the first supplier that has it. I don't care if the supplier looks like he's legit. I don't care if anything. Do not do it. Just don't. To avoid story that touches. However, don't do this unless you trust them. And when I mean you trust them, it's you've been buying over time. You understand? And there is that confidence that, oh, I've bought from this person multiple amounts of time. This is something that I regularly do business with this person. But then if you're watching this video, you probably haven't founded that trust. So I will repeat again. Do not. One more thing, one more very weird thing. Very I don't even know. At last minute I put this in because I feel like some people needed to know this. Don't chat your supplier in English. Don't do it. You know that medium, or a bunch of you using 1688, that medium where you can message your supplier. I would strongly advise you never to chat them in English. Even if they can fluently speak English, do not at first instance chat them in English. Do you know why? Let's use Nigerian sense for instance. If I'm an Igbo man or an Igbo woman and I'm trying to do business with someone else and I find out that they are not a fellow indigene, or you understand, they're not also from my tribe, I could decide to tell the person what I want to tell them and talk to my brother in Igbo. There's that sense of familiarity when you are speaking in a fellow language. It just makes that person, it brings a closeness. And when you're closer to somebody, you tend to not cheat them, or you tend to not give them a bad bargain at first. You just want them to get a good bag. You want them to do business with you. That's just pump and plain. But for a Chinese man that's talking to somebody that doesn't know Chinese, he first of all looks at it like it's tedious because I have to be translating my words. And because it's so tedious, he has no love, or there's no feelings of closeness. It's like, okay, are you buying or you're not buying? And they're very strict like that. But when you start talking to them in Chinese, you take that effort out to translate to their own language. There's that closeness that immediately draws them to you. Like they want you to give you a good bargain. They answer you faster because it's something that they understand. But if you're giving them a different language and they have to go, most of them don't even want to go through the stress because they have a lot of customers on there. You understand? So they are not going to even want to take the time to do that. That's why you see a lot of them respond slower to you than they would if you just typed in Chinese. And trust me, it's not hard. Use Google Translate. Then we have this one that would save you a lot. And I don't mean a lot of stress, I mean a lot of ego. Don't use a shipping company unless they are recommended to you by either your expert or somebody that has been in the business longer. The reason why this is so important is because people know what they've passed through in the hands of shipping companies. So me, like somebody that I have done a lot of shipping, I wouldn't necessarily advise you to not use this particular, shipping company. But there is one shipping company I would not recommend for anybody trying to get their goods on time, and that is Hugo Express. Yeah, if you're trying to get your item on time, I would not recommend them. I've had to go to their branch on the mainland for several issues that I had with them. At this point, they all know me. So if you don't want to be wasting that much transport to be going up and down to chase after somebody that's holding your package, or to just stress yourself, just use a shipping company that is recommended by somebody that is in the business longer. If you want to know what shipping companies people would recommend, you could leave it in the comments, ask some questions. I'll reply you with the shipping companies I recommend I've used, and I've used a lot. I've used quite a number. I also have the fact that sea shipping will always be better. Yes, like I said before, sea shipping, it is always the best because no matter what you are shipping, even if you're shipping clothes or you're shipping a lot of items, shipping fees will be kind to you. They will be kind to you. They will be what you expect, or even if they're not what you expect, they'll just be slightly higher, which is something you can chest. But if you want to stress yourself and you have money, can't be using true air. And then I have the most important one: translate everything. Everything you see on that page, go to their shop, translate it. Look at the specifications, translate it. Look at the product description, translate everything. You do not want to miss out a single detail. That's something I call authenticity research. You're checking everything about the shop, you're checking every angle, every corner, so you can have some trust in what you are ordering. It's not going to be what I order, this is what I get. Out of the 80% of times I have implemented this has worked for me. It has worked for me, and my products have come the way I wanted it to come. And then the final one is, do not, let's say you finish your class now, an importation class, and you're watching the way the person is doing the importation process from start to finish. I beg you, I beg you, I beg you, I beg you, I beg you. Do not copy their pattern. That is what worked for them. That probably won't work for you. Trust me, because I once did that and it burned me so badly. I had to come up with a system that works for me. You get? Because let's say your coach could be importing in large amount because she has built that customer base. You haven't. And then you want to be importing the same large amount? Shipping fee go. If you need to start from smaller amounts, please start from smaller amounts. You can do that. You need to know that, okay, I've bought from this person before, and this is something I like to do. I bought with this person before. I can use this person again, and I have faith that it's going to come exactly. So I could do some tests. I buy some for myself. If they are good, I post them on my status so that people can buy them. Now I have a long list of suppliers that I bought things from, and their things came exactly as I wanted it. So now if I'm going to market, I market from those suppliers alone. I don't need to stress myself to go and check any other person or what they have or anything when I know that my supplier has it. If you have any more thing you want to add, if you have any more experience you'd like to share, a crazy shipping fee experience, leave it in the comments. If you also want me to talk about mine, you can also leave that in the comments too. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, make sure you engage so that we can keep this series going. All I have for you guys today. Thanks for watching.